Hello everybody, it's Kanamanga, and today we actually have a revisiting of a previous video that we did on Slice of Kana. So, just to let you guys know, Crunchyroll does these sneak preview events where essentially 2 weeks before the actual season starts, they will showcase some of the shows that they had kind of in their lineup. Technically, last time it was the winter lineup, this time it's the spring lineup because we're heading into April. That's how time works, I think. Anyways, we had the Crunchyroll sneak preview event, and this time they actually took a couple of notes that a lot of people were talking about. One of the big ones is that it was kind of a surprise going in there. Last time it was Sentenced to Be a Hero, You and I Are Polar Opposites, Dead Account, and Hell's Paradise as the 4 shows. We didn't know that going into it. We just went in completely blind, and I do think that really hurt the number of people who were actually coming in to see it. Now, heading into spring, they actually announced the lineup before we actually got into the theater. So it's no longer a gotcha, so to say. It's now like, here's the previews, get ready for them. And also with that, it means that we know which shows are going to be shown. So we have Drops of God, which I believe is an alcohol tasting anime. We have ReZero Season 4, which is definitely one that a lot of people are looking forward to. I haven't caught up on ReZero at all. I kind of stopped after Season 1, but we'll see if this makes any sense to me or if it's just flashy. Then we have Demons of the Shadow Realm. Demons of the Shadow Realm is actually a manga that I collected, and it's written by the same author as Full Metal Alchemist. So I'm super excited to see what that's going to look like on the big screen. And last but definitely not least, one of my personal favorite shows, Witch Hat Atelier, is getting its anime adaptation and will be screened at this event. I don't know exactly which order they're going to be at. They're just kind of chucking it at us, and then we're just gonna watch it when it happens. But I'm super excited to see it, and I'm really glad to know the lineup ahead of time. I think more people will actually be on board to see it then. The other thing is I will not be going to this event alone. Last time I went completely alone because not a lot of people knew about it. It was kind of last second for them. But this time I actually put out a widespread net and let people know, like, hey, I'm going to this thing. Does anybody want to go? So I actually brought the 2 people from the old Wandance video with me. So today we're actually going to meet up with Forrest and Juan, and Bubbles is going to be there. Bubbles is Forrest's mom. She's going to hang out with us as well. So for the Crunchyroll sneak preview event for spring season, we have brand new friends, we have brand new shows, and we're going to take you guys along with us to go ahead and take a sneak peek at these. Hopefully we'll be able to get this out before the spring season. That way it gives you guys a little bit of a heads up of like what I expect and what I saw. That way you guys can kind of judge which shows you guys want to see heading into the next season. I do think these sneak preview events are actually really beneficial, especially for people who are maybe hesitant or don't know about some of these newer series that are on the way. But I do, and I'm super excited to go ahead and see some of them. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take you guys over there, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and give you guys a quick rundown of everything and what we thought of it.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Hello everybody, it's Kanamanga, and we are back from the theater. It was actually yesterday, but we got home super late, and I didn't want to do this with my entire family sleeping, and I also wanted to like collect my thoughts about the whole experience. So it was the Crunchyroll sneak preview night for the upcoming spring season, and we did end up seeing 5 shorts instead of 4. So I'm gonna actually go down the list in order of appearance and kind of go into that. So first thing, I'm gonna gripe and like rant about something, okay? My theater experience was kind of booty cheeks. Just the theater in general. Unfortunately for me, I picked like the furthest back seat because like I like sitting in the far back and just being able to like see everything. But we had a group of like 3 dudes in front of me who, one, couldn't sit still to save their life. So imagine trying to read the subtitles of like a show, and then like every 2 seconds, a really tall dude just like pokes his head and you miss like every other word. I had that issue. That seems like a me problem, but you know, it's also like, just stop moving. 2, during the entire time that I was watching the first show that I'm gonna mention, he was scrolling through his like Instagram reels in the bottom corner. So if any of you guys have been on like TikTok and know how like, he's probably doing it right now. I know my editor would do it right now, but like he put like Subway Surfers on the bottom. You know how like you honestly like stop caring about what's going on over here and you only care about like, ooh look, Subway Surfers, ooh. That's exactly what happened. Or like, oh, no, Minecraft parkour, you know, just put it here. I'm sorry, I'm making you do so much work, Fancy. I didn't mean for it, but it's true. It was like, I had no other way of like really focusing in on the show because we had like so much stuff. And then I guess this isn't like a gripe, but it's true. We had a dude snoring by the time that we got to like the third show, like in the back corner. And I'm like, bro, like, why are you even here? So it got to a point where I was just like, why am I watching these shows if like, why would you pay money? Why would you pay $22 USD to go and see a bunch of new episodes that are about to come out and then like not watch them, right? That's just my personal gripe. That's just the theater gripe. Nothing on the theater itself, but it's just like the audience for the theater that I was in. So once again, the Crunchyroll Sneak Preview Night was hosted by The Anime Effect, which is Crunchyroll's flagship podcast. They did a really good job this time. I like how they kind of made sure to reintroduce themselves. They are The Anime Effect. They have a podcast, X, Y, and Z. Did it at the beginning and the end. Good job. And also just having a couple more announcements and whatnot throughout the entire thing. I thought that was really good. They at least let us know ahead of time like what we were expected to see, but they also were a little bit more personable about like the shows that they were picking, as well as what they were showing us and how to like really clean up the entire like presentation of it. The first one that was shown was the one that I was mostly here for, which is Witch Hat Atelier. I love Witch Hat Atelier, still in my top 3 of all time favorite manga series. And yeah, not only did they show us one episode, they showed us the first 2 episodes. I enjoyed it a lot. And the one thing that I mainly had issues with moving forward was that Witch Hat Atelier's art style, especially Kawame Shirahama in general, her art style is super detailed. So it's gonna be really tough for them to capture that in terms of like the anime. But what they've been doing and what I really like is that there's certain transition points that look like a pop-up or picture book, and they keep the same art that Kamome originally had in the manga. So I really do like that, and I do think that's a really good step and a really excellent step for Bugworks, or Bugs Films? Bugs Films, they're called Bugs Films. The studio that was behind it. Originally, if you guys don't know, Bugs Films was the studio behind Zom 100, and Zom 100 looks pretty, but they had a lot of like scheduling issues trying to like get the entire show out. So I'm glad that they were able to fix a lot of those issues, especially heading into Witch Hat Atelier, and they look really, really prepared for it. Number 2, Daemons of the Shadow Realm. Daemons of the Shadow Realm is Hiromu Arukawa's next series. Feels very much like a Full Metal Alchemist, has kind of a really high action like start, and it is meant to confuse you. Like a lot of people went in and were like, oh, what's going on? It's like, yeah, it's gonna hit you in the face really early, but it will make more sense later down the line. They don't explain a lot. A lot of action happens in the first one, but not a lot of explanation, which is fine. I do enjoy Daemons of the Shadow Realm. I do think I'm gonna watch it later down the line. It's just like, you know, I'll wait till it gets a little bit further down the line and then I'll start it. But characters are good. The adaptation so far looks really nice, and I'm glad that Hiromu Arakawa and Bones are getting back together to actually make this work. The next one was Drops of God. Now, I have no idea what the hell was going on in this one. I'm not gonna lie. Drops of God was a anime about a son of a wine connoisseur, and he finds out that his dad passed suddenly, right? Or rather, he was keeping it a secret from his son because he didn't want him to rely on him too much. So he passes away. Now he has to like sommelier his way to becoming his successor. And to make matters worse, he adopted another kid like a week ago. So now they both have to fight for the throne of, you know, wine connoisseur land. Now, one guy is classically trained and he's considered the best. The other guy is the son of the wine connoisseur, but he has like a good feel for wine, right? Now, if the series ended at the halfway point of episode 1, I would have been fine, okay? If episode 1 ended at like 10 minutes, that would have made an excellent first episode. But it kept going, and the pacing is, for lack of a better term, wild. Now, we actually got another series that was not on the docket, which is cool. I love it when the Anime Effect does this, especially for sneak preview night. It was called Go For It Nakamura-kun, and this is a BL school coming of age romance, but it's drawn in the style of like the 80s. So it looks like it looks like Ranma half. It looks like Inuyasha. It looks like a little bit of like Sailor Moon style, right? But it's got like the awkward like comedy of like, hey, I like this guy, and it's like, I don't know how to approach him because I feel like it would be cringe, and then they like, you know, play the chess game, right? And I love it. I love these kind of slow burn romances. I love how awkward it is, and I think the art style is something that's super refreshing, especially right now when we're all worried about like hyper realism and trying to get it like locked in. This felt kind of refreshing. Even though like I'm not necessarily a huge fan of BL, I wouldn't mind watching this because I think it's like really funny. We could probably go through it with like a bunch of friends, and I don't know, maybe we'll throw it up on the Discord. We'll see. The last thing that was shown at the Crunchyroll sneak preview event was ReZero Season 4 Episode 1. Now, I know for me, I don't follow ReZero. You guys know that I don't follow a lot of ReZero. I kind of dropped it after Season 1, but I wouldn't mind going back to it. I was just really confused about everything. But I had Juan with me. Juan has watched all of ReZero, and he said, yeah, like the beginning of Season 4 is really good, but if you're going into it completely blind, this feels like a freaking like punch to the face of not knowing anyone or anything that's going on. And as somebody of that sort, I was like, I remember Subaru and Amelia, and why is Rem in a coma, and like, who are these people, right? That was kind of how I saw it, but I was like, okay, yeah, I understand that there's like a ton of context that I'm missing. As for him, he was like, it was a good thing to be at, to like see for the first time, but the fact that like you needed prior knowledge to enjoy it felt like a huge barrier to entry. And I know how that feels, especially going into a sneak preview event where you expect everything to be new, but it was kind of a cool thing, especially for, you know, the only ReZero nerd who was in the theater, which is Juan. So yeah, overall, he thought it was good. He thought he would have enjoyed it if it wasn't in that same experience, but he was glad that he was able to experience it. As for me, I have no idea what's going on, so I really can't give it a rating. So that wraps it up for the Crunchyroll sneak preview event for the spring season of 2026. I honestly am looking forward to Witch Hat Atelier. I've had that circled forever on my list, but I'm also really interested in Daemons of the Shadow Realm. I think that that one is one that a lot of people might pick up later, especially if they catch in on the anime, and the fact that it's Hiromu Arakawa and it's done by Bones, I think that's a good hand-in-hand thing, and I'm excited to go ahead and see how these series are going to get played out. I guess the only other thing that I would mention is, because this is a sneak preview night, I do think it would be beneficial for Crunchyroll, especially since they're putting this on, to only prioritize like series debuts or things that don't require a lot of prior knowledge in order to enjoy. I understand, like, obviously the ReZero fans would shell out to go see it, but I think it would be more beneficial to show one, or not even show any at all, if it required me to learn or figure out a lot of different things that were going on prior to hopping into the theater, you know? It's kind of like how I look at like the Avengers now, right? Like you can hop into the Avengers, but it's more beneficial if you knew all the MCU movies leading up to the Avengers, right? It felt like that kind of especially for ReZero, but I don't know how else they would be able to fit in more without like having that in there. So yeah, overall, I think the program was pretty solid. I think the Anime Effect's doing a great job, and honestly, if they need a new host, hi, I'm Kanamanga, I'm here, I make content about manga. So that wraps it up for the Crunchyroll sneak preview night for the spring 2026 season. Overall, I thought the program was really good. I just wish that everything was in episode 1 or like a anime series debut. That way we don't really need a lot of context heading into it, and it makes it a lot easier to digest and understand. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want me to do this for next season as well, let me know. I believe the next one is going to be in June. And that will be for the summer 2026 season. We won't know what's on that lineup yet, But mostly, obviously, it's going to be Crunchyroll exclusive stuff that they're going to go ahead and put on the website. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know. And yeah, let me know if you guys want to see it again.